Good afternoon, happy Tuesday. It's Katie here from Gold Medal Business, supporting you to build a rock star and a gold medal children's activity business. Welcome. If you're brand new to our community, we did an amazing launch last week called Scale to Freedom Accelerator. We've had so many new amazing people join us. So if you're brand new, welcome. It's an absolute honor to have you as part of our community. I'm on Instagram. We're live streaming. So if I'm looking in a few different directions, please bear with me. So it's an absolute honor to be with you today. Now, we are going to be working on today the top 3 actions for you when you're building out the right business plan. One of the things I'm passionate about helping you to do is ensuring you're building a business that supports you, the entrepreneur. Otherwise, quite frankly, there's no point. I can't tell you the amount of times I work with clients and they're building a business that ends up not being actually the direction they want to go in, or maybe not the passion that they actually thought they had. So I want to make sure today with 3 points that we can easily implement that you can make sure that you're on the right track. You know, you've got the right actions in place to support you to move the needle forward in your business. Because think of it exactly this way. It's like driving with no sat nav to a destination. We've all heard that saying before, right? If you fail to plan, you're not putting any actions in place. You're not putting the right dials and the right steps in place. You'll end up in a whole nother direction. Exactly like if you're jumping in the car and you're like, you know what, let's jump in the car, let's see where we end up. Exactly what you've said. You're going to end up in somewhere that you might love it, you might not. So 3 things that I really wish in the very early days of business, I wish I had been more strategic with this, and I really wish I had dialed in a little bit more on the exact plans and the exact route on where we wanted to go. So number 1 of building the right business plan, I want you to get, and this is a personal exercise for you, I want you to get really honest with yourself on your vision, your lifestyle, and what you want as a family. If you have a family at this point, what does that look like? What does that look like in terms of freedom and time with your children? If you haven't got children, what does that look like on a lifestyle aspect? What are you actually building? So what I mean by this, it's looking at, in the children's activity world, you've got 2 ways you can go down. Traditional business model, bricks and mortar, schools, regular classes, membership models, holiday camps. Or you have the online model. Now, what I mean when I'm talking to you a little bit about lifestyle and vision. So if your vision is to, you want to travel and you want to maybe homeschool your children if you've got a family, or you just want to see the world, but you still want to be a business owner on your travels, you having a traditional brick and mortar business may not suit you unless you have a phenomenal team in place that can support the business whilst you're away. Now, obviously, over time, you're going to have a business that can grow with you and thrive without you. I always teach this. If you were part of our Scale to Freedom Accelerator last week, we did a lot of training on this. If you need, we've got a few replays available. So if you still want access to it, they're available for 24 hours. So I just want you to put replay in the comment box or drop us a DM or wherever you're tuning in from. But really get clear on what business you want to create. Because if you were creating a business that you're like, I want to travel, that's exactly what I want to do, and you're building a business that is literally location dependent, then you, in 5 years' time, you might be like, I've built something really good, but it's not the direction I wanted to go in. So it's looking at, if you want to say travel, you need to be looking at more of an online model. As I said, unless you're years down the road and you have a phenomenal team in place that can support the business whilst you're away. And both can absolutely work, because that's the whole point about being a CEO in your business. And one of my biggest missions at Gold Medal is helping you being able to transition out your children's activity business, be having a team to grow it for you so you can be there and you can focus on your other passions. But that's not going to happen in the early days, and does take time to build those deep-rooted, effective leaders. So you're looking at what your vision is. What lifestyle do you want? I'm going to give you an example. Over the years of building business, I've been in business for over 20 years now. And I've got 3 children. So they're 9, 5, and 1. So any opportunity that I look at, I don't want to be away from home. So I want to make sure I've turned down a lot of, say, speaking gigs or conferences because I don't want to be away from home. My priority while the children are young is I want to drop them at school. I want to pick them up from school. I have my non-negotiables in place that I want to be present for. So if I was away every weekend speaking, that's not going to work for my family. It will work in, say, 8, 9, 10 years' time. When the kids are slightly older, it's not going to work right now. So that is a part to the business plan that I don't incorporate, because I know that's not part of our negotiation and our values. So really thinking, get crystal clear on what do you actually want from your lifestyle, because you're building a business to aid your lifestyle, to grow into the lifestyle you want. You don't want to build it the other way around. So many times we build a business that is, we're literally bootstrapping it every way. We literally can't breathe because we're in it 24/7. And you create a business that you don't love in the end, because you create something that's not in line with your mission and values. So number 1 is getting really clear on what's your vision, what's your lifestyle, what you want to create as a family, so that you can live the lifestyle that you want. Okay. Number 2, I want you to review exactly what your business actually needs, rather than what we think it needs or what your vision is for the business. So I was working with a client who was phenomenal, and it was a basketball company, and he's amazing. And he went down the route of wanting to have his own facilities, which was a fantastic dream. You know, we all have our vision in our head of what it's going to look like with all the bells and whistles, because sometimes we get a little bit fed up maybe of renting space and dealing with the issues that it comes when you're maybe renting a studio space, a gym space, a leisure center, a school, whatever the case may be. And over time, he had this vision in his head. Now, over the 6 months of developing this out, he realized that that actually wasn't the model for his business. It was going to cost a lot more to grow and scale it with that model, when his model was perfect in pop-up venues like village halls, studios, and so forth. So we managed to cut all the big overheads that came with that business plan. Sharing a little bit of mine. Obviously, I'm in the gymnastic world. For years, we worked out of leisure centres and village halls, and it was a great model, but we also need a lot of equipment. So I now have permanent facilities now, because that wasn't the business plan. That wasn't the vision that I wanted to continue with. It worked, but it's not where I wanted to fully go. Now, that is 2 different business plans, 2 different in the children's activity space, gymnastics, basketball, 2 very different sports, 2 very different needs. So just because you are, you're thinking, oh, but they're doing it over there, and I really would love my own permanent premises. Really get clear on, but what does it actually need? I was working with someone in science and running science activities for children after school. And the same sort of story, wanted their own facility. The same with tuition. It can work fantastically well to have your own facilities, but it can also work just as well out of pop-up centers. It really depends on your vision and your numbers in your business. So number 1, we talked about today, was all about just vision and lifestyle. And then number 2 is really starting to get clear on what you want from the business, and then how you're going to build it that actually works for your business model, and not copying another business model because you think that's the only way to do it and to do it successfully. If you need pure customization on this and you're not sure on which way to go, because often when we're in our own heads, that is the power of mentorship and our community at Gold Medal. When you're in your own head, you take so much longer to make decisions. You can't see the wood through the trees, as it was, because you're in it 24/7. So if you need a bit of customization with this, I want you to comment. I want you just to drop us a DM. I just want you to put customize, so we can then have a chat, book a call together, and then I can delve deep, myself and my team, on the right model for your business. So number 3 is, how do you then start build out your business plan? What's the time length? What's the consistency? What's the frequency with this? In the early days of business, I had a beautiful, and I look back now, oh my gosh, it was amazing. It was laminated. It was this thick, beautiful business plan. I was about a year into the business. Now, if you're a year into business, believe me, your business is going to look very different in 5 years. It really, really will. So it's really looking at short and focused business plans. I would recommend having a 5-year vision, but a 1-year business plan that is chunked down into quarters. Because if you plan out an efficient, super focused business plan for the next 5 years, 5 years is too long, but 1 year is very tangible. It's two different things, having a vision and a business plan. So by all means, you want to have that that future long planning in your head, and you wanting to be thinking, this is the plan, this is the goal for the next 5 years. This is the direction we want to go in. You 100% want to have that, and you don't want to lose that. But to getting down into the nitty gritties, the numbers, the planning, what's actually going to happen within that time frame, you want to work in about 12 months, break it down into quarters, because what you achieve in this year is then going to reflect what you then do in year 2 of the 5-year plan. So you want to make sure you're focused 100%, but you have flexibility and a little bit of movement, because sometimes this often comes up in high-level entrepreneurs I work with, especially if they've been in the business and they may have a business that's over $500,000 plus, and they're like, but no, that was the goal, that's the vision, we're going to stick to that. And this has caught me up many times in business as well, when you think, no, that's the plan, that's where I want to go, that's the exact what we've planned for, that's the numbers. But sometimes it can take an unusual turn. Sometimes you need to create that little bit of flexibility. Sometimes team members don't work out that needed that piece of the puzzle to move that forwards. So having flexibility in a 1-year strategic, properly focused plan, but a big 5-year flexible vision will really serve you well when you're looking at building out your business plan. So I want to recap a little bit for you. When you're thinking about how to build out your right plan, we're thinking about, number 1, making sure it aligns fully with your vision and your lifestyle and your family needs. Number 2, it's reviewing what your business actually needs rather than what you think it needs or your passion, because the two are very different things. You don't need to go down a whole tangent, because that might be the most expensive model for you, because that's what you want to achieve, when you could actually do your business in half the price and half the time. Number 3, really building out your business plan that is focused and using 12 months to build a strong and focused plan, and that is strategic, rather than drawing it out across 5 years and spending hours of your time that was going to change in a heartbeat. So I hope you found today's live super valuable. As always, I want you to leave with nuggets that you can implement straight away. And said, if you need a little bit of customization on this, I just want you to comment customize, so we can really hold your hand and actually look into your business model and to give you the most relevant advice. So if you know someone in the children's activity world that could help with a little bit of feedback, they need direction, they need roadmap, they need strategy, share our lives with them, get them to join our community so we can share my words of wisdom with many of the children's activity world to really help you think outside the box. Can't speak at the end of this. Jump outside the box, speak outside the box, or whatever you want to call it, so you can share the love and we can welcome them to our community. You can see I did a lot of speaking last week on our Scale to Freedom Accelerator. Have an amazing day, and I will see you again on Thursday for our Go Gold with Gold Medal. Take care and have a fantastic